The Liberals for 5 minutes, Anthony.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Mr. Smith, your last appearance here, particularly as related to the settlement agreement, raised a lot of questions. When did the Board of Directors authorize an individual from Hockey Canada to sign the settlement agreement? What was the date that the board authorized it?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just for clarity, the Board of Directors authorized the maximum amount of the settlement, and the settlement was negotiated between Mr. Winton, who's to my right, and the lawyer for the young woman, Mr. Talek.
So in my experience as a general counsel of a multinational, you would normally have board minutes that would state someone being authorized on behalf of Hockey Canada to sign the settlement agreement and the board authorizing the settlement agreement. You've now stated that the board authorized the maximum amount. Where is that minuted in a Board of Directors meeting?
Thank you, Madam Chair. As I stated earlier, in-camera sessions within the Board for the Board of Directors are not minuted.
So basically, according to Hockey Canada's practices, you could never prove in the future whether the board did or did not do what you said. I can only say you need better legal advice and you need better lawyers if that is your practice, sir. Coming back to the settlement agreement, you settled on behalf of the John Doe players. The John Doe players, a number of them have come forward to say you never contacted them to even tell them about the claim. Can I understand how you contacted the John Doe players?
We advised all players after we settled with the young woman. We made the decision to settle on behalf of Hockey Canada and the other named defendants, and we did so in the best interest of the young woman in protecting her privacy and also her benefit going forward.
What legal right did you have, sir, to settle a claim on behalf of people as unknown or people that you did know that you did not consult with? If I am sued, I have a right to be involved in the question of whether or not there's a settlement paid and whether or not somebody settles on my behalf. Did you obtain written consent from the other defendants to settle on their behalf?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I advised the process that we undertook to settle.
So you basically, you didn't contact people even though you had their emails and you had their legal counsel's representation. You chose to settle without consulting with them. You then settled on their behalf. Okay, you had a claim and you settled it within 3 weeks or 4 weeks of the date you received the claim. That is highly unusual. So let me understand, you at the last committee hearing, you and Mr. Rennie professed that you did not even know which 8 individuals were involved. You said that there were some statements in the claim made by the plaintiff that were false and others that you couldn't validate because she was never interviewed by Heenan Hutchinson and never interviewed by your counsel, and she made no statement to the police. Why did you not use the lawsuit as an occasion to depose the plaintiff to see if her claims were credible?
I believe this is, thank you, Madam Chair. This is consistent with my statement on June 20th. We made the decision to settle in the best interest of the young woman and to respect her privacy. And we did not want to subject her to further discussion or debate that we have now seen through the media in the last 10 to 12 days. We made that decision at the time to help her on a go-forward basis, and we stand by the decision to settle with her.
Okay, so basically you settled the claim. You didn't know whether you had legal risk or any risk. You didn't know who was involved. And so would you do that if somebody else sues you tomorrow?
Sorry, there was a phone ringing. I missed that question.
So I said, we've established you quickly settled the claim on behalf of numerous people, and you didn't know whether you had legal risk or exposure or not. Would you do that if someone else sued you tomorrow?
I don't know if it would be fair for me to surmise what we would do if something happened tomorrow. I do know that we immediately entered into discussions between our representative and the Young Women's Council. As I said, we did so in her best interest and really wanted to ensure that we were looking after her on a go-forward basis.